Darrell's up there on them streets. He's got his socks on, like most black guys in a porn setup. I get behind and I throw.
2 guys, 1 bench. Shit talking, strength sports, combat sports. Game over.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to 2 Guys, 1 Bench.
Where we talk a lot of shit.
And we drop some truth bombs on your bitch ass.
Before we get into it, we want everyone to give a like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment down at the bottom on your favorite part of the podcast.
Definitely, that goes a long ways for us, getting our subscribers up. Also on Instagram, make sure you comment on our posts and our stories. We're going to have some fun stuff for you.
Rant of the week. We're about to pop some caps.
All right, guys, we want to kick it off with our rants of the week. Russ, what do you got for us?
Well, the Olympics was on, and wow, it's great. Tokyo. I used to live in Japan. Wow, it's amazing. Karate, the sport just came out, their first Olympics, and boom! Well, it's not the karate that you would expect. It's some watered-down bullshit. And in the gold medal match, the guy knocked the dude fucking right out and proceeds to get a silver medal. And the guy laying on the floor looking like a dead corpse gets the gold. Darrell?
Yeah, I don't understand how you can justify it. I understand you don't want knockouts. But at the same time, when you're in the gold medal match, I feel like anything should be going at that point, because rewarding someone for being a worse fighter is not the precedent you want to set.
Definitely. In my style of karate, Kyokushinkai, that's the full contact shit where your main mission is to try to knock the dude out. And, full power kicks to the head, 100% shots to the body. It's painful to watch. Go and check that out. Kyokushin, GSP has a black belt in it. And then, K1 was basically derived from that. So, it's definitely this point karate or even point taekwondo. It really waters down, the true form of the martial art. And it's kind of disappointing.
All right, and for my rant of the week, what I want to talk about is another thing that happened in the Olympics and this new trend of glamorizing quitting. Some of you might know what I'm talking about. Simone Biles, after her first attempt, the GOAT of gymnastics, decided to pull out because she mentally wasn't there. Some people called it brave, others called her a quitter. Let's just keep it real, keep it a buck. It was 100% quitting. I realize I'm not the greatest in the world, but in any other sport and any other time, would that be acceptable? Fuck no. If it was a guy from Canada that we never knew and he quit in gymnastics per se, obviously he'd get roasted for it. He'd be called a pussy, he's a quitter, blah, blah, blah. But because it's her, everyone wants to tiptoe around it and say how brave you are. I understand people have mental health issues and you always have to address mental health. But at the same time, everybody has mental health things they need to struggle with. And just because they're not talking about it doesn't mean they don't go through it. You have stuff you're going through I don't know about. Everybody does. It's just the nature of it. I don't care if it's an injury or something mentally. Every athlete at every level, every person in any job, they all have struggles. But coming into something and then just blaming it away on your bad performance, throwing a fucking tantrum, and then getting praised for it is honestly just, I think it's negative, and for sports in general sets a really bad trend, because now for the rest of your life for sports, you're going to start seeing more and more people most likely, oh, my mental health wasn't there. It's like, oh, that's okay. I guess at the one time we need you to perform, you can just say mental health isn't there, and then you can escape all criticism.
Yeah, for me, these gymnastics girls or guys, whatever, I think eventually down the road, that really leads to careers and opportunities and, money. I mean, I used to fight for nothing, a fucking $2 trophy, and, get knocked out and shit like that. But when you're going to do that kind of stuff, are you having mental breakdowns while you're walking towards the ring? Sometimes, we talk to a few fighters. Some are just cool and calm. Others are like shit in their drawers. And not only that, but this is a 4-year gig. You have once in the 4 years to do what you're there to do and what you've been trained to do. And to just say, I'm pulling out, that's kind of, what are you there for? I mean, it just doesn't really set a good example for people in a high level of sport. You know, Darrell mentioned in Canada, yeah, what if we had like Team Canada, the hockey team, and, you know, we have a young Wayne Gretzky or whoever the fuck it is, and he's like, oh, I'm not playing this game, I'm too nervous. How would that turn out, you know? He wouldn't be praised at all. So it's a difficult situation, but yeah, Darrell summed it up.
Combat sports.
All right, everybody, combat sports. Last night was UFC 265. It was a big battle between two giant dudes. Darrell, what happened?
So the main event was kind of anticlimactic for the most part. The entire card was really good. Vicente Luque had probably one of the best comebacks I've ever seen. He went from almost being choked out to winning within 10 seconds.
Yeah, man.
You had Jose Aldo looking strong at 135, but like you were talking about, the main event, Ciryl Gane and Derek Lewis fighting in his hometown, and honestly, history doesn't really lend to being the hometown kid on that, because like always they come out, I don't know if it's nerves or whatever, and seriously underperform.
Definitely. I mean, you know, everybody knows the Black Beast can make a comeback from just about, you know, getting his ass kicked for, you know, all 3 rounds. However, you know, I think Gane took advantage of that, and he just started hammering them down. What I think was, you know, the big, you know, axe in the wood, so to speak, was the axe towards Black Beast's legs. I mean, those low kicks a few towards the end there were like, that's like leg snapping territory. You take a few of those and you're like, do I really need to be in here? I got paid. He okay. And, you know, like, you just see him kind of give up. It was kind of sad. You know, he kind of turtles and goes the other way. Sometimes he'll come out and do a big punch from there, but wasn't his night. And Gane was definitely way more technical, agile, and it just goes to show, you know, that type of fighter, and, you know, a perfect example of how, you know, 2 different fighters can match and one will be dominant. I'd say Daniel Cormier could come out and kick Gane's ass and just dump him on his ass.
Most likely.
Or even in Gane right now. I think Cormier should make a comeback, get off them butter rolls and make a comeback. But Ngannou versus Gane is now the new fight to make, right?
Yeah, I'm excited for it, because I think if he sticks to the game plan that he used on Derek Lewis, of a lot of leg kicks to rob him of all power when you're punching, Ngannou, if he just sits there and doesn't come out and press off from beginning of round 1, he may be in the same boat, because trying to have any power when your legs are all fucked up isn't going to work with someone who's going to pick you apart like Gane, because he's patient. Yeah. He backed up and picked his spots, but at the same time, you're not fighting someone with the smallest gas tank in the division.
No, and yeah, you know, Ngannou has that one-hit power, but he's kind of a little bit slower like Lewis, and if Gane keeps on dancing around, picks him apart, he has a chance to win. Not only that, he has Ngannou's old coach in his corner. Credit to this guy, man. He basically created 2 champions. He's got Ngannou and Gane with belts right now, and he was, you know, this French coach that no one really knows about. Pretty badass, and he's not a huge guy. You see him holding pads and just getting shit canned by these giant dudes, you know, kicking them across the room and stuff like that. So, big fight coming up. It was a pretty good card. I was happy I spent the money. No glitching out on them streams.
Something just ain't right. There's definitely some fuckery afoot.
All right, everybody, on a more serious note, fuckery afoot. Well, there's been some powerlifting news recently in the last day or so of certain, you know, pretty big ups in the powerlifting world being a little corrupt, doing some fucking shady ass shit. We won't go into the details. I'm sure you can look it up. Darrell?
Yeah, what it comes down to is just an abuse of power. Without going into the details too much, because obviously we don't know the full story, it just goes to show that there's way too many coaches out there that are abusing their power. People are coming to you to learn from you, and if you step across that line, you're just not being a professional. And it's very simple. Don't put yourself in those situations if you're a coach. You got to know where to draw the line. Like, you can be friends with your clients and athletes, whatever, but you can't be doing certain shit. Like if you're something as simple as you're coaching a female athlete, how about don't put yourself one-on-one with that person in their house? Or don't ever feel like you have to intimidate them. Like you got to look at what you're saying from the outside and realize what you may think is okay just really isn't to other people.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it gets even more and more creepy when these guys are up in, you know, their 60s, late 60s or whatever, preying on, you know, younger people, using their power spot to, like, you know, blackmail or coerce them into doing things. Who knows? You know, innocent until proven guilty, but it happens way more often than you'd like to know. And you know, just working in a gym situation and seeing how, you know, even higher ups in the gym or people at gyms, you know, kind of you cross that line that you're not supposed to be. You're a professional, and you know that's why you should be remaining a professional in all aspects. You know, your private life is different, but don't involve your professional life with your private life. And yeah, that's all we want to really talk about. All right, guys, just today, some really tragic news. John Meadows, who's been a leader in the industry in bodybuilding and just pumping out awesome YouTube videos, technique and whatnot, friends with 𝐁 𝐏𝐸 and all, you know, just an overall stud with, you know, his career in the fitness industry, has passed away at the age of 49. Bro?
Yeah, it's really sad because 49, like, that's not old at all, and it just makes you realize how you don't really know what day is your last, because from the outside looking in, obviously I don't know what killed him, but he literally looks like the picture of health. He's a super jacked 49-year-old, so it's kind of just a message to all the people out there, like, just because you're living and lifting weights doesn't mean you're healthy. So go get checked out, make sure everything's running good. Just because you have muscle on you doesn't mean you're the healthiest person out there, because we all are lacking something. But it's just really sad to see someone like that who is contributing so much to the fitness and lifting industry, and even in the strength community, presence like that gone, because he always seems so positive.
Yeah, and it just goes to show, you know, you don't know when your next day is going to be your last one. So, you know, make the best of every day that you have on this planet, and try to remind yourself that on a daily basis. Don't think too far into the future where you're like, oh, I got to plan 10 years down the road. You should be planning, but have some small, you know, micro goals as well. And, you know, I think he did make the world a better place, obviously. So, you know, he obviously pushed his body to the limit with bodybuilding and lifting. If you see some of his workouts, they're insane. So, you know, in my opinion, you know, leaving this earth with, you know, leaving
good legacy.
A good legacy like he has is way better than, you know, some guy that died at 49 that did a desk job and sat at home and ate cheesies all night. So, not to say that guy didn't deserve to live longer either, but yeah, it's sad, and we want to just pay our respects to him.
Technique of the week.
All right, buddy. Last week we went over some street fighting 101. We went over straight punches, knees, elbows, and some clinching against the wall. Well, today we're going to go over some judo. I got a black belt in this shit. I lived in Japan all those years. It was pretty awesome learning from some pretty high-level grapplers. And one of my favorite moves is osotogari, and that's what we're going to be doing today. Jigoro Kano is the founder of judo, and his foundation and principles were max amount of power, the least amount of effort. So, trying to use efficiency. Here we go. All right, so pretty simple. We're in a kind of a confrontation situation. You know, Darrell's up there on them streets. He's got his socks on, like most black guys in a porn setup. But we're not worried about that. I got my bare feet. We're in a park. Who the fuck knows? But main thing I want to do is wrist control. So I need to get a hold of this wrist. What I like to do is clinch up high, get the wrist. Boom. Okay, now we're here. We're locked in. He's kind of struggling a bit. I'm going to use my force. I'm going to step wide outside where his ankle and my ankle meet. Can you see that? Boom. All right, so now we're here. We're Achilles to Achilles. We don't want to be up here. That's not the type of throw. We're here, and all we're going to do is a sweep into the ground. In fast motion, normal motion. I'm here squaring up against the rail. I get into the clinch, boom. I get behind, and I throw. You can see he flies through the air pretty good there. You know, most people don't know how to break fall. So imagine we're in a street fight situation, ground, concrete, whatever, it's a hard surface. More times than not, someone's gonna crack their head. So you gotta be careful with this. Only use it in self-defense when you feel your life's on the line, okay? Boom!
All right, guys, thanks for joining us on the episode. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and drop us a comment down below.
Definitely. And don't forget to eat big. There are too many skinny motherfuckers out there. I don't see them eating enough.
And train hard.
And always be fight ready.